Happy Monday, North Central Washington, and yes, there is something called Happy Monday, because you just found it. It's the 26th day of February 2018. Wake up, Wenatchee Valley, back on the air for another week of television entertainment, television information, television TV fun, something along those lines. It's a Monday. I am Dan Koontz, your host. That is Steve. I just got a lower third hair, cat in control. Happy Monday.
Hey, you too, Dan. Great weekend.
I had a very good weekend.
I kind of stayed indoors most of the time. It was really kind of strange weather we were getting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, we had everything yesterday.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
We had sun and rain and snow, and the high temperature was like 46 degrees at noon. Then it went down and it started to snow again. It was a strange weather weekend.
Definitely. And we've got a full recap for you coming up.
Steve's got the news. Eric Gresham was busy over the weekend. He spent Friday and Saturday at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium covering regional high school basketball. We'll talk about that. Playoffs for the Wenatchee Wild begin on Thursday. We have the obscure holiday, birthdays. Today in history, everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and Bob Bauer is standing by in our brand new green room.
Oh.
Bob works out at the Rocky Ridge Dam Visitor Center, and he's got a couple things to talk about. The Visitor Center, maybe it's a sign of spring, opens on Thursday, the Rocky Ridge Visitor Center. So Bob will be in the second half of the show, and pretty excited about it. Ready to go get them.
Good. Well, how was your weekend? What did you do?
I made chili.
I thought I smelled that in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't do it here. For those of you who remember,
maybe that was the leftover from
no,
last week.
that didn't last at 45 minutes. Last Thursday was National Chili Day, so I made chili for my coworkers, and you enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. The Golden Boy Tucker had a couple of bowls, so he must have enjoyed it. But for me, it wasn't one of my better batches. There was something missing.
You're your own worst critic, aren't you?
Yeah, when it comes to my chili, I take pride in it. And people liked it, they enjoyed it, people ate the whole thing, nobody got violently ill. But there was just something missing about it. So I decided I'm going to make a batch of chili, and I'm just going to do something maybe just a little bit different. And what I was figuring out, maybe I did something wrong, was the hot sauce that I normally use, I didn't use. I just bought hot sauce is hot sauce, right?
No.
I figured that out because it just didn't have the zing to it that I usually have in my chili. And so dark and early on Saturday morning, I got up and had a nice big breakfast, and I showered because it was Saturday, and I shower on Saturdays. And I went to...
Whether he needs it or not.
Whether I need it or not. And I went to a local grocery store. I'm not going to mention the name of the store because I told Albertsons I wouldn't. And I decided I'm going to get a different kind of hot sauce. So I discovered this.
Uh-oh.
It's Yai's Thai Chili Garlic Hot Sauce. And it has a kick to it.
Good.
So
what's the heat index on that? Hot.
But I put just a little bit in. Maybe a teaspoon. That was it. And it was exactly what was missing. So Saturday morning I got home, I made my chili. It takes a good 3 hours to make a good batch of chili. And I tasted it, and it's one of the best batches I've ever made.
Good.
I'm very proud. So this has now my seal of approval, and I'm going to use it from now on. It was perfect. It was perfect. So very happy with my chili batch.
No, I was pleased, very impressed.
Yeah. But again, that was Thursday's chili, and it was okay, but it wasn't my best batch.
No.
The batch I made on Saturday and consumed Saturday and Sunday and will more today. It was one of my best batches I've ever made.
Well, good. Well, I can't wait to try that one then.
Yeah. What did you do over the weekend?
Pretty much just sat around and watched sports on TV, a little bit of Olympics. I watched a golf tournament yesterday, and Tiger Woods looks like he's at least competitive again.
Mm-hmm. Did you see him hit the duck?
I did. I did.
That's going to go viral. One of Tiger's drives on the back nine down at the Honda Classic.
A duck's not a birdie, by the way.
Yeah, it actually, his drive hit a duck that was walking down the fairway. Duck's fine. There will be no lawsuits, I'm sure about that. So that will not be, by the way, in sports. Trust me on that. We have a beautiful day today. Let's not waste any more of our viewers' time. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras. What a gorgeous shot that is this morning.
We had some pretty images this morning of the valley. Just bright blue skies, sunshine. Wow.
It looks funny because the sun is bathing the Wenatchee side of the river, but not quite over the hump enough to get East Wenatchee bathed in sunlight. But don't worry, it's coming, East Wenatchee. Good looking day today, lots of sunshine, temperature about normal.
Those neighborhood streets, though, up in the Wenatchee area, East Wenatchee area, pretty slick. So be careful out there.
Yeah, you drive into work, I don't, so I don't really know the road conditions. So.
Well, the main roads, they had the de-icer out really early this morning, but it's those neighborhood streets and smaller little streets that are a problem.
All of these cameras, of course, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless network.
Look at this.
Camera 2, I'm thinking that's Badger. Is
Looking
that Badger?
down from the plateau?
I think that's Badger. It looks that way to me. Sometimes it's hard to tell. What that is a beautiful view. That is
That's
Badger.
Badger.
Yeah, that's Badger. Absolutely gorgeous view there. Way up there. It's the only way these Sky-Fi things can work.
I'm looking here to the left. What is that structure there on the cliff there? Looking
That
down.
is Santa Claus's summer home.
Looks like it's got quite an antenna that's going.
Yeah,
up there.
well, Santa has to be communicating all over the world, you know, naughty or nice. So, a lot of people don't know that, but Santa spends his summers up there in Badger Mountain.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Okay. What's he have? A single wide or a?
No, he's got a
bunch?
beautiful place up there. He's
Okay.
got a gorgeous place up there. Camera number 3. What are we looking at?
Oh, this is my
Wow.
favorite this morning.
That has
Talk
got
about-
to be the Lake Wenatchee area pointing up the White River Valley. So normally we have it turned the other way so you can see Lake Wenatchee. That's turned the opposite way. That's
Wow.
pointing up towards the White River Valley. Look at that.
That is beautiful. Absolutely postcard quality picture there.
So give you an idea what you're looking at. If you can't see it, but if you keep going farther and farther to the right, eventually Dirty Face Mountain will come into view, and then eventually
Boy,
Lake
it's a
Wenatchee
dramatic
itself.
shot.
So it's
That is
pointing
really
right
nice.
up the White River Valley. Beautiful area there.
Boy, we live in a beautiful place, don't we?
I know, I love it here. Camera 4. I can't wait.
Oh, wow. That's Lake Chelan, isn't it? Oh, no. Yeah, it is Lake Chelan.
That's Hose Landing. Yep, that's Hose Landing. So that is basically, you can see a rondo a little bit. That is basically across the river from the Lake and Rock, I guess is about the best way. Oh, it's Hose Landing. It's a beautiful area up there. Look at that, gorgeous view. So the Wenatchee Valley, by the way, is on your left, way down on your left,
All right.
on a good looking Monday. And all things considered, a good looking week, a very quiet week. We just got a couple of days left, and then we can bid February adieu, and good riddance to February. March happens on Thursday, and
And
today's...
it's coming in like a lion, too, I understand.
It's not too bad. We're going back to typical weather, because last week was just weird. We set 3 overnight lows. It was cold. It wasn't particularly pleasant. Now we're back to typical late February, early March weather. Sunshine today, a lot of it. Here's your forecast. High today of 42. Looking good. Clouds thicken up tonight, 24 for the overnight low. Usually when we talk about clouds, we talk about precipitation, but there isn't any. On Tuesday, partly sunny, warming up to 46. Not bad at all. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, 29 for the overnight low. Wednesday, little system comes in, not packing a wallop, Steve. Whatever precipitation we get Wednesday is going to be coming down in the form of rain.
They've kind of revised that forecast from where it was last week at this
Yes,
time.
they do.
So
They have the right to do that.
they were looking at a major system there
It's
here a
going
few days ago.
to slide right by us. 44 the high on Wednesday. A little bit of light rain on Wednesday night, 31 for the overnight low. Cloudy on Thursday. High of 46. We'll jump ahead of the weekend because we can. Special Olympics. The Winter Special
That's right,
Olympics.
that's coming up.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, mostly cloudy 43. Saturday, mostly cloudy 43. Sunday, partly sunny 45. What you're seeing here is just basically very typical, normal, late February, early March weather with the overnight lows finally much more moderate than they were. They were just it was a cold
What are they
week
looking
last
at in the
week.
way of wind?
Almost
coming
nothing. No real wind at all. So, the mountain passes, they're open, which wasn't necessarily the case yesterday. Let's take you up to the Cascades. This is a live shot of I-90. Traction tires are advised. Compact snow, slush, and ice on the roadway. It is snowing on I-90. Steve's got some photos from yesterday's commute over the mountain passes.
Oh.
If you haven't seen them yet, you're going to be just amazed at what happened up there. So that's what's going on right now on I-90. Stevens Pass yesterday at this time, it was just a mess. Today it's better. It ain't great. Traction tires are required on US 2 Stevens Pass. Compact snow and ice on the roadway. It's snowing on US 2. Blue, it looks okay. Traction tires are advised. It is not snowing. In fact, clear skies up above on Blewett Pass, and they do have a traction tire advisory. The last 5 miles going up and 5 miles going back down the other way is where you're going to find the diciest job on Blewett Pass. So right now, to recap, I-90 and Blewett, a traction tire advisory. Stevens, a traction tire requirement. Your forecast today, a little bit of light snow, not too much, partly sunny skies in the Cascades, high of about 26. Couple of inches of snow tonight, Steve. Couple of inches of snow on Tuesday, couple of inches of snow on Tuesday night, couple of inches of snow on Wednesday. So they're going to get snow, but not a big, huge
Like the
dumping
weekend.
like
Yeah.
they had over the weekend where they just got hammered.
2 feet.
Yeah, that's a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow. The plows simply can't keep up with that.
Yeah, Mission
They
Ridge got
simply can't.
something of, I think, about 1.5 feet.
That's a lot of snow.
Over the weekend, yeah.
That's a lot of snow. So things will get better. If you need to go over the mountain passes today, give yourself maybe a couple of hours. It's going to get better. They're not expecting any significant snow at all in the Cascades, and that's good news. And again, you're going to see some of the photos that we got from the DOT from over the weekend you're going to go like this. Wow, how did people drive through that? I didn't. I stayed at home and watched the Olympics and ate chili. 10 minutes after the hour. The news with Steve here. Quite a bit of news to get to, including a recap of some of the weekend events, is coming up when the gentleman to my left will give you the news. That's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm in the wrong studio.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, we made it through the weekend. Here's what's happening around north central Washington this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Again, I'm Steve Hare. Well, if you didn't go prepared, you really got stuck in a mess on the passes over the weekend. In fact, right now, an avalanche blocking both directions of SR 20, the North Cascades Highway, just east of New Halem on the west side. It's about 300 feet wide and 25 to 30 feet high, that snow slide. And DOT crews were preparing to clear the highway when the snow subsided. Meanwhile, both directions of SR 20 North Cascades are closed, starting at milepost 123 due to that avalanche. This is just east of the town of New Halem in Whatcom County, so you can't get there from here. The road was closed overnight, and the avalanche crews, the DOT, were going to head up there this morning to assess the slide conditions. Meanwhile, the weekend, my gosh, check out these slides from the DOT from our website at ncwlife.com. That's what it'll look like. The weekend snowstorm caused havoc in the Cascade Passes. Up above, you see the situation on Snoqualmie Pass when they had to shut it down for a period of time yesterday. Stevens Pass, you can't even make it out through the snow-covered lens of the camera up there. Storm generated gale force winds as well, with highest peak gust recorded Saturday, guess where? Mission Ridge, just over the crest there at 97 mile-an-hour winds. Elsewhere around the area, we had Tumwater Mountain in Leavenworth recording a 38 mile-an-hour gust. And some of the other areas, 4 miles northwest of Eni, had 41 mile-an-hour winds. And then there's also a Mission Ridge or Mission Creek area there as well, but I can't find it right now. So, well, anyway, check out the chart. Those were your wind gusts over the weekend. We have no reports of any damage, though, from the gusty conditions. Well, the mystery tar-like substance that's been really plaguing motorists up in the Mission Ridge area, up near Forest Ridge Drive, it's going to be the focus of a major cleanup job by Chelan County Public Works crews this week. The roadways, which were chip sealed back in August, will be scraped down to their subsurface. The debris will then be hauled away. The road then will be sanded to cover any remaining oil. And the scraping, which is typically done with a grader, will be completed as the weather allows. Scraping the roadway is not possible if it's covered in snow. So Public Works began getting reports from motorists who traveled on Mission Ridge Road in early January that a sticky, tar-like substance was on their vehicles. Forest Ridge Drive residents soon after reported similar problems with that caking material on their vehicles. Crews now have been brooming and sanding that roadway when weather allows. A representative of the company that supplies the oil for the county's chip seal projects was on site recently, but apparently unable to identify the cause of the problem. Motorists in those areas can expect minor travel delays during this week's cleanup. Also, the annual People of Our Past theatrical performances held over the weekend at our Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. The annual event features local actors who portray historic characters from Wenatchee's past. This year's focus was on the year 1905, when Wenatchee and Greater Chelan County emerged on the international scene as leaders in the cultivation of apples and other tree fruit.
Folks, never fear, if you don't know the words yet, you will by the time we're done. We're gonna sing it one more time. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true.
Dora, my dear, listen to this. In a letter to Arthur Gunn dated November 2nd, enclosing the list of the Chelan County Awards at the Portland Fair, Elmer E. Johnson, the executive commissioner, says Chelan County made a 30% better showing than any other county.
On the seat of a bicycle built for two.
A lot of fun at the museum over the weekend. You can stay tuned to NCW Life channel and our magazine program produced by Jay Seebeck. You can see and watch those performances, so watch your local listings for that. A Tacoma woman was injured late last week in a one-vehicle accident near Entiat. Washington State Patrol said 34-year-old Vanessa Ingham was traveling southbound on Highway 97A about 4 miles north of Entiat when she attempted to enter a corner, lost control, rotated sideways, and vehicle then went off the roadway. In fact, the car went in over the railroad tracks, plunged down an embankment, landing partially in the Columbia River. As you can see on this photo here, supplied to us by the Washington State Patrol. Another driver at the scene transported Ingham to Central Washington Hospital. State Patrol is still investigating both the cause of the crash and if any charges will be filed. Also, a Wenatchee man is hurting both physically and financially after he was run over by a hit-and-run suspect last December. Dan and I covered that story on Friday. Sean Goldie suffered multiple broken bones when he was struck while walking in a crosswalk on the south side of town. The suspect was never found, leaving police with few, if any, leads, and leaving the victim crippled and nearly destitute. Goldie spoke with NCW Life News about the fateful day back on December 15th of last year when he was injured.
Well, it was a Friday. It was my first day off for my weekend from my job at Walmart. And I was hanging out at the house, not feeling too great, had a little bit of a cold, and was debating all day whether to make something here to eat or go down to the 7-Eleven to get some nachos or something to eat. So I finally decided to go to the 7-Eleven, and after walking down the hill, I got in the crosswalk, and I was about halfway through the crosswalk, and the people started yelling all around the cars there, and I looked to my left and saw a car just about to strike me, and I was knocked to the ground and broke my shoulder in 5 places and broke my leg in 1 place.
The suspect driver fled the scene and is still loose. Meanwhile, Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department said the investigation has gone cold.
The investigation really has reached kind of a stalemate. We developed a suspect almost immediately in this case. We had some information that led us to believe it was a certain individual. Had multiple arrest warrants, really didn't have a driver's license, and fleeing from the scene of a crash, these can often be indicators to why somebody would run. The suspect was identified, like I said. It was not the vehicle owner. The registered owner of the vehicle is one person. Our potential driver suspect was another one. Through the course of the investigation, we of course interviewed our victim. We interviewed a number of witnesses. We took the photo montage route, showed photo montages of our potential suspect to a variety of people. And unfortunately, we're never able to develop probable cause for an arrest in this case. Suspect is still outstanding on his arrest warrants. Were we to contact him at some point, certainly we'll be interviewing him about the crash, but at this time we don't have any ability to make an arrest. The search warrant was served on the vehicle. We found some paperwork related to our suspect in the vehicle, but it still doesn't conclusively put him in the driver's seat to the point where we can actually arrest anyone.
In the meantime, Goldie remains physically unable to return to his job.
I was in a wheelchair for 45 days, couldn't stand at all. I've been about 3 weeks now back to learning to walk again, and my leg's about 70%. I can stand and I can walk short distances now, but I still have a lot of problems if I try to walk too far. And my arm's about 40%. I'm getting some of my range of motion back, but I still have a lot of strength issues, and there's a lot of stuff I can't do with my arm still.
Goldie's mother has started a GoFundMe account to help him with his rent and living and medical expenses.
by the time I get back to work, it'll be 4 months without working, so I'm going to have 4 months back rent and 4 months back on all the bills in addition to the medical expenses, and just not having money to live on at the moment. So we started a GoFundMe account, and we've had a little local support, but certainly could use some additional support because I have very limited income until I get back to work, and that won't be until the end of March, 1st of April.
So there you have it, just really kind of an alarming story, considering, you know, that we still have a suspect at large, and the fact that he really has no recourse at this point. The owner of the vehicle doesn't have any money, uninsured, so he's kind of left to fend for himself right now. But I got to say that the community has responded in a big way since we first aired that story on Friday afternoon. His GoFundMe account has increased in dollar amount, and we're also getting word from some local merchants out there that are helping him out with free goods and services. In fact, my buddy John Holben up here at Holben's Barbershop apparently is giving him free head shave for life, which is pretty nice, I think. And,
if you want to help out Sean directly, we
yeah.
have a link to his GoFundMe account on our website. So if you go to ncwlife.com and you'll see the story.
Really a nice guy.
Click on the story and the link is right there. We went and filmed that story, of course, on Friday. Glad we could do our part, and now our viewers are doing their part.
And to think he regularly walks to work. He works at Walmart, and that's about a 4-mile hike for him. So a lot of the comments on our Facebook post were from some of his co-workers and friends who described him as just really a wonderful guy, and probably is worth, you know, our support here in the community.
And that was one of those stories that was given to us by you.
That's right.
Our viewers, and you can be a part of our news team, and who's kidding who? We can use all the help we could get. Get a hold of us any number of ways. Steve, you want to do the honors? Now people can...
In fact, Sean's mother, who
Yep.
lives in Barrow, Alaska, actually contacted us at
Yeah.
NCW Life and told us about his plight. So thank you very much for that, Chris Goldie. By the way, if you do have suggestions for news stories, give us a contact at our Facebook page, our Twitter page as well. NCWLife.com has a little tab up at the top, Contact Us. Just click that and you can communicate with us there. As always, emails available, address news@ncwlife.com, and of course our breaking news hotline at 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL, NCW Life's breaking news hotline.
We invite you to close out your workday by heading home and getting all together with the family and eating a nice little dinner and watching our newscast.
Yeah.
The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock for you laters out there. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the news with Grant Olson, or you can watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. We usually have the news up there and running late in the afternoon, usually about 4-ish, 4:30 or so, if you don't have it, if you want to watch it at your own convenience. Lots of sunshine, 28 degrees outside of our studios, gobs of gooey good sunshine all day today, and a high of 42, and all things considered a pretty quiet week from Mother Nature's department compared to last week, of course.
Wow, look at that picture in back.
Yeah, it's
of me
gorgeous,
there,
isn't it? 23 minutes after the hour, we still got sports to get to. We have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McDonough's opinion, and Bob Bauer will be joining us from the Rocky Reach Visitors Center. You're going to notice when Bob's on camera, looks a lot like me. Big, strapping, handsome son of a gun he is. We'll be back in 1 minute with sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
25 minutes after the hour on a beautiful Monday, 26th day of February 2018. I am Dan Coon. Sports will recap the weekend there was with Friday night. First, the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard we go. High school hoops and boys regional basketball. Kittitas Thornton no trouble with Brewster. They downed the Bears 78-37. Brewster will have to play a day one day. They have to play on the first day of the State 2B tournament in Spokane. They'll take on Life Christian Academy. That is the nightcap Wednesday at 9 o'clock, again in the Lilac City. Also Friday, Wenatchee High School. Friday, Harbor ended Oroville's season, the final there, 51-32. In the 1B Boys Regional Friday, Elmira Cooley Heartline fell to number 1 ranked Sunnyside Christian 55-36. The Warriors will face Tahula in the first round of state Wednesday at 2 o'clock. In the 1B Girls Regional Friday, Antioch took on Riverside Christian. It was a must-win situation. Eric Granstrom was there, and he files this report.
Well, the Antioch Tigers will head to the State B tournament next week in Spokane after a convincing victory over Riverside Christian here at Wenatchee High School on Friday night. The final 78-17, and it was defense that made the difference. The high scorer for the night, 24 points, most of that coming in the third quarter for Natalia Paz. She says it's her defense that feeds her offensive game.
I've learned from my coach that defense is definitely the key to games. And I think just from my freshman year when she first started coaching me, that it just kind of developed off of that. Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of hard work that we put into practice. I mean, especially from coach pushing us to our hardest. It definitely paid off in the end, especially all the seniors and just these group of kids that are coming up. They're awesome and they're just amazing. I don't know how else to explain it.
Coach Lori Pipkin agrees that it's Natalia's defense that really helps to spur the team along.
She loves the game. I mean, she'll stand up with the coaches and kind of hear, see what we're talking about or whatever, and she's always in the gym, all the time, just practicing, getting ready, she wants to win so bad. Last year was a heartbreaker in that last game, so, she definitely wanted to make sure her senior year she can get to Spokane and stuff and help get the team there. And I just feel like all those girls, especially that senior group is very, they lead the other girls so well, and Nat just does, I mean, she runs everything for us, and she is heads up and just is invaluable for us. So
for Coach Pipkin, she wants the Antioch Tigers not just to advance to the State B tournament, but to stay around for a few days.
I just want them for this to be able to experience, state, and I would really love to get that first win so that they could experience what I feel state is, which is more than just one game in Spokane, so yeah.
So the Tigers head to the State B tournament in Spokane after a big 78-17 win over Riverside Christian. At Wenatchee High School here at the regional tournament, I'm Eric Granstrom for the NCW Life Channel.
Thank you very much, Eric. Now we move on to Saturday's play as we open up again the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. At the 2B Regional in Yakima, Mabton bounced the Lake Roosevelt girls from the tournament. The final there 49-38. At Wenatchee High School, the Brewster girls advanced to state with a 66-50 win over Mossy Rock. Brewster will take on Napavine in a first-round 2B game Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. The Pateras boys knocked out of the 1B tournament. They lost to Nacelle, the final 66-48. The 1B girls tournament saw Elmira Cooley Heartline lose to Pomeroy 52-42. So Elmira Cooley Heartline Crosby Stills Nash and Young will play the first day of the State B tournament in Spokane at 5:30 in the evening. Moving on to the 1A Regional, Cashmere took on Lakeside at a 9 Mile Falls in the state seeding game. A lot of Cashmere folks made the trip, and Eric Granstrom did as well. He has the story.
The Cashmere Bulldogs notched another game in the win column Saturday at Wenatchee High School by knocking off Lakeside 70-43. The victory moves Cashmere into the quarterfinals of the State 1A tournament in Yakima and a 9 o'clock game against the winner of Wednesday's game between Nooksack Valley and Meridian. Haley Van Lith led the Bulldogs with 36 points, 12 of which in the first quarter.
I just think we knew we were going to come out with a lot of energy, but we didn't want that energy to like overwhelm us and get us out of how we play best. So we were just really focused on coming out with a lot of energy, but still staying within ourselves.
Cami Kanishka scored all 9 of her points in the first quarter, all from three-point land. She said Kashmir had to adjust its defense to combat Lakeside's 6'2" forward Hallie Jensen, who scored 20 points.
They had a different kind of style than we do, so we just had to keep pressuring them, and they had a pretty good post that she was kind of killing us a couple times, but we stayed together like always and got the win.
It had been 2 weeks since Kashmir was on the floor last for its district championship win over Omak, and Coach Brent Darnell said he could see it.
But there's something to be said about putting your uniforms on and having real refs and real fans and everything that goes with that. But we weren't as sharp as I'd like, but sometimes, you know, the other team does things to make you look not as sharp, and they weren't. They were pretty good. Lakeside's a good team. Jeff Peets, their coach, is a good coach, played for a state championship here about 3 years ago. So, you know, they're a well-coached team. They got some good players, and sometimes that takes away your sharpness. So kudos to them, because that was a good basketball team we beat.
Things went a little cold from outside for Kashmir in the second half. That's when Kanishka and Van Lith started driving and finding open looks inside, as Claire High scored 8 of her 10 points in the second half.
Coach Darnell was really emphasizing like catch, dribble, kick out, catch, dribble, kick out, and then eventually we'll get a dish or a lay-in off of it. So we started working the ball around and driving more, and every girl drove and made a good decision, and we got rolling again. So
Kashmir improved to 21-1 on the season with a win, but Darnell says you couldn't tell it by seeing the girls after the ball game.
I walk in the locker room, and our locker room's dead quiet. I mean, they're not celebrating in there, and they know we didn't play well. And I told them that's the great thing about our team and our expectation level of winning is we win by 27, and we're disappointed.
Van Lith says the drive to succeed comes from losing to Mount Baker by 1 point in last year's championship.
We never wanted to feel that feeling again. That was just heartbreaking. And we lost a lot of seniors, and we'll never get that team back, but we have an opportunity with this team, and I think we really know like how important and special it was to be in that spot. And we know how it feels to lose, and we don't want to feel that again, so we have a lot of drive inside of us not to ever let that happen again. So I think we're going to make sure we take special care of that opportunity.
Kashmir will get to make the first step on that opportunity Thursday night at 9 o'clock in the Sundome. I'm Eric Grandstrom for NCW Life Channel Sports.
Thank you very much, Eric. And Kashmir will play in the state quarterfinals Wednesday between they'll play the winner of Noosac Valley and Meridian, who will play on Wednesday. And finally, the 4A tournament over the weekend. Both Davis and Sunnyside boys lost their regional games, so the Pirates will take on Curtis in Tacoma Wednesday. Sunnyside will take on Lewis and Clark. The Moses Lake girls remain undefeated. They beat Woodinville on Friday, the final 71-66. So the Chiefs move on to the state 4A quarterfinals. They'll play the winner of Wednesday's game between University and Bellarmine Prep. Well, it was the biggest game of the year so far for the Wenatchee Wild. It was Friday night in Vernon. The Wild took on the Venom in a battle for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Wenatchee had a great start and then cooled off. Vernon came storming back. Arch Ecker has the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network. Video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Vanderbeck top of the far circle. Stick handles in, shot blocked, gets his own rebound back, spins and he scores! Vanderbeck got his own rebound, spun and flung it at the net, ripped it high top corner on the glove side. And at 4:06, the Wenatchee Wild draw first blood. Swatted right out of the way before Morton could finish it off. There's another shot, save made. Puck still loose, Morton jams at it, rebound, score! Zach Galambus puts it home. And the Wild now lead it 2-0. Kirimanis swings it to Williamson. Back up top of the far circle. Judson shot, save, rebound, score. Nico Kirimanis sweeping home the rebound. And the Wild lead is cut in half. And banked off the boards. Here's Lambert. He's got help with Mokatari up the middle. He's in. Shot. Oh, what a stop made by Isley. Gets slipped out front. And Lansdell able to sky it through center. Kirimanis will chase after it. He comes in from a tough angle. He's in. Shot. Score. Deeply slings it up top for Young. That shot gets a deflection and rattles into the near corner. Back up top left point, Huffberg. That shot through traffic, score. I don't know if it was tipped by a friendly stick or off a Wild player, but it was fired from the left point. Is it up the near side? It's fed over on the left wing for Souders. He plows into the zone. He's in, he shoots, he scores! Lucas Souder with a shot from a tough angle down at the bottom of the left circle. And he rockets that up under the crossbar. And it's a one-goal hockey game. The Wild trail 4-3. 10 seconds left. The Wild have to hustle. They're not going to have time. He peels back in his own end. And that's going to be it. They just run out of time.
So that was the final on Friday night, 4-3, with really nothing to play for on Saturday. They lost the last game of the regular season to Penticton. The final is 5-1. So it's on to the playoffs. Wenatchee is the number 3 seed. They will host the number 6 seeded Merritt Centennials first round of the BCHL playoffs. First game Thursday night, Town Toyota Center, 7:05. Game 1 Thursday. Game 2 will be Saturday night. In the best of 7 series will shift to Merritt for games 3, 4, and if necessary, game 5 on March 6th and 7th, maybe the 9th. And if the series goes to game 6 and or 7, back in Wenatchee on the 11th and the 12th. And that is sports at 36 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 26 degrees, lots of sunshine all day today, and a high of 42. The obscure holiday of the day today, always February 26th, is National Pistachio Day. Pistachios. If you're a farmer of pistachios, if that's what you do, you grow pistachios, you got to be patient, because a pistachio tree, and they grow on trees, takes 7 to 10 years to mature. Not surprisingly, the number 1 producer of pistachios in America is California by far. Pistachios are harvested in September by those giant trees. You've probably seen the videos that they hook up to the tree and they shake the tree and all the pistachios fall to the ground. It takes less than a minute to do that. The open hull in pistachios is unique because that means the nut is ripe. So it takes all the guesswork out of it. As soon as it cracks open, they're ready to be harvested. And of course, pistachios are really good for you. So scarf down a bunch of pistachios today. Just the pistachios. If you put it in the ice cream, it kind of offsets the health benefits, I'm assuming. 37 minutes after the hour, 3 events caught my eye on today in history. February 26th, 1616, 402 years ago today, Galileo Galilei thought Copernicus was right, that the sun is at the center of the universe and everything else revolves around the sun. Well, the Roman Catholic Church says that's not how we teach things. The way we teach things is that the earth is the center of the universe, and Galileo Galilei said, no, I am convinced that the earth orbits the sun, and the Roman Catholic Church 86'd him. They threw him out of the church because he would not change his teachings. That's the only known photograph of that event. Happened on this day 402 years ago. 203 years ago, Napoleon Bonaparte got away from Elba. Napoleon was sent off to Elba because they didn't want him around anymore. Elba was a little too close, though, to the Italian mainland, and he was just kind of sitting around twiddling his thumbs for a while. Here I am stuck on Elba. I think I got one more comeback in me, and as he was plotting his great comeback, he got word that they were going to actually ship him off farther away from Europe, so he would just be out of our hair. So he escaped, got back to France, took over France again, and we all know what happened at Waterloo. And this time they said, we're not going to stick you in Elba, we're sending you all down to St. Helena. But Napoleon made his escape, if you were, back to France on this date 203 years ago today. And 99 years ago today, Woodrow Wilson did a lot of great things as president. This is one of the best things he did. He signed the Act of Congress establishing the Grand Canyon National Park. There were proposals to actually put dams on the Colorado River inside the Grand Canyon National Park. And when Woodrow Wilson signed that act establishing that, that pretty much ended those plans. Thank you, President Wilson. 39 minutes after the hour, 3 birthdays, legends all. How sweet it is. The great one, Jackie Gleason. Born in the state in 1916, he had a terrible childhood. His father ran out on the family. They never saw him again. He ended up living on the streets. He had to do whatever he could just to eat. But eventually he worked his way up the ladder very patiently, and he became one of the great American actors and comedians of all time. Of course, the Honeymooners. We all remember him as Ralph Cramden. He, of course, got an Academy Award nomination for The Hustler and Smokey and the Bandit as well. The great Jackie Gleason, an American television legend, born in this state in 1916. We just lost this man last year, Antone Fats Domino, the Fat Man. Singer, songwriter, pianist, one of my all-time favorites. Just such great music from Fats Domino. Was born in the state in 1928. Of course, he passed away last year at the age of 89. And speaking of musical legends, Johnny Cash. John Carter Cash, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, lots of acting too. Johnny Cash was a pretty good actor, was born in the state of 1932, passed away at the age of 71 back in 2003. One of only 2 artists to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame. Johnny Cash, one of my favorites. All right, 40 minutes after the hour, everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and then Bob Bauer will be dropping by. Bob Bauer works at the Rocky Reach Visitors Center, and we got a lot to talk about with Bob and the Chelan County PUD when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
In our experience, some people are just cut out for charter college and for success in a new career. These charter types are hard workers. Charter types go above and beyond. And charter types are responsible. If you're ready to get to work making a better future for yourself, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Quality, comfort, style, service. This is the Crown Furniture difference for more than 50 years. Their commitment to you is to provide the best furniture and mattresses the industry has to offer at a great price. Shop Crown Furniture today to experience the difference. And remember, free setup, delivery, and haul-away in their service area is just another way they show they care.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and a lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do their job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, my day job is doing mental health and relationship counseling. And you know what causes a lot of mental health issues and contributes to people not being happy? Human beings have a strong urge to justify themselves, to feel like what they did or said was okay, even when they realize it wasn't. Now, if they were just honest with ourselves, okay, if we would just admit that sometimes we made a mistake or even deliberately did or said something wrong rather than trying to justify it, maybe we should just say we're sorry. People would have a lot more internal peace of mind if instead of trying to make excuses, we just say, hey, I screwed up and I'll try to do better next time. I've had practice in that. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the Golfer's Edge to get the Golfer's Edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
Hi there, my name's Patrick and I'm the branch manager here at New American Funding. Applying for a home loan is an exciting time. You may have a lot of questions about how to meet your home loan goals, the loan process, or your borrowing options. We're here to help. We do things differently here at New American Funding. Not only do we have an array of loan products and a team of specialists to support you, but we get to know you personally. We want to earn your trust and business for life. So stop by our Wenatchee or Chelan office or give us a call today.
Ready Medi is healthcare made simple and affordable. We are the only direct primary care practice that provides personalized and holistic health care in North Central Washington. Our wellness model not only helps prevent heart attacks and strokes, but we also optimize hormones. Affordability is our goal. For example, hip surgery locally is $45,000, whereas our members have the same access for $15,000. Ready Medi, healthcare made simple and affordable.
Why live your life in the dark? At Schmidt Electric, we're one of the oldest and most respected companies in the Pacific Northwest.
Founded by my father in 1960, we have grown from 2 employees to 130.
From small commercial businesses to heavy industrial companies, we employ some of the most respected contractors. We're also a proud member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers for over 50 years. Call us at Schmidt Electric today.
And welcome back. My guest today is making his debut appearance, his inaugural appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Bob Bauer is the education specialist at Rocky Reach Dam, about 7 miles north of where we're sitting from the Chelan County PUD. Welcome to the program, my friend.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
It's good to see you. All first-timers ask the same question, a little something about Bob, your background, your relationship with the PUD, everything about.
Sure.
Tell us about Bob.
Sure. Bob is a native of Florida. Came to the great Pacific Northwest to pastor a church and wound up doing some evangelism. Wound up learning that you cannot butter your bread doing evangelism in the Pacific Northwest. Was fortunate enough to get on with the PUD. For the last 13 years, been experiencing a dream job. I'm the education specialist, which means I get to spend lots of time out in the schools, anywhere from preschool to the college level. Do a lot with Wenatchee Valley College and some of the other smaller colleges around. Just educating the public, letting them know what we're doing at Rocky Reach and throughout the Chelan County PUD. So I've got the best job at the PUD.
Sounds great. Now, is your office out at the Visitor Center? Is it at the dam?
My office is at Rocky Reach, yes.
That must be a cool place to go to work every day.
Yeah, I have an interesting office. I'm kind of down, tucked away on the 4th floor in the plant where I don't get cell coverage, and lots of rolling noise, and kind of cool in the winter and hot in the summer, but great place to work.
We'll start out with the Visitor Center because Thursday it's back to work for you, right?
Thursday is back to work.
Yeah.
And you said Visitor Center, and you're absolutely right, but it's kind of a misnomer, if you will. Visitor centers typically are places you go to ask for directions, or you go to use a restroom, maybe pick up a free donut, and pick up some pamphlets. And we are much, much more than that. I like to think of us as a discovery center. So when you come out to Rocky Reach, you're going to discover things, all kinds of cool things. A lot of folks have lived here their whole lives, and they don't realize, you know, the immense size of Rocky Reach, or the PUD in general, but just Rocky Reach for fun. It's 1 million cubic yards of concrete, about 4,000 pounds of cubic yards. You got 4 billion pounds of concrete in the river.
And I'm no expert, Bob, but that's a lot of concrete.
That's a lot of concrete. Yeah. And it's 218 feet from the top of the dam to the bottom of the river. Wow. So if you lift Rocky Reach out of the river, set it next to the highway, it's a 21-story tall, 4 billion pound building. Just that most of it's underwater, so people don't realize it. So the idea when you come out to Rocky Reach is not that you're just going to come and visit, but you're going to come and discover all kinds of cool things. How we take that energy out of the river and give it to a turbine that gives it to these big magnets that gives it to little electrons that go down power lines and turn light bulbs on. So it really is more of a discovery experience than a visitor experience.
Do the schools still send the kids out there in the school buses to take a tour around?
I'm going to go with a yes on that one. As a matter of fact,
I remember that when I was a kid and it was cool.
Oh, it's really cool. So the end of May, beginning of June, that kind of last 2 weeks of the school year, we'll have about 1,500 fourth graders out there. So we have a partnership with the North Central Education Service District and also with the Wenatchee School District. And it's kind of gone Chelan County wide, and even Douglas County schools come. And so the students, they do 9 modules in class, and then they come out for their field day experience. So, you know, for that 2 weeks, you've got about 1,500 fourth graders out there. We have an event called River Ramble that we're working with middle school students, where middle schools will send what we're going to call cultural ambassadors out. So Saturday, May 12th is this River Ramble experience, and it's really a cool Native American cultural education experience where all the kids, and the visiting public too, it's a Saturday event, come out, they learn traditional teepee setup, they learn the significance of the long tent, which is kind of the social gathering place. They participate in tribal sports, games, and customs. They experience flint knapping and atlatl, just all kinds of cool stuff. And it's truly a learning experience and learning to appreciate a culture that was here long before we were. We'll have several tribes represented, Native American dancing. What's really cool is you don't just watch Native American dancing. You listen to the story behind the dance. Is it a predator-prey dance? Is it a woman's elegance dance? Is it a tribal family dance? I never knew this growing up. There's a right way to enter a teepee.
I had no idea.
There's a right way to leave a teepee. And there's a right way to act while you're in a teepee.
Okay.
Kind of like our homes, you know,
Yeah,
there's
sure.
a right way to act when you're at home. So yeah, so we've got tons of great stuff coming up, lots of kids. The public will be out, we hope, in droves, and so yeah.
When they built Rock Island Dam in the early 1930s, there was no real thought about people might want to visit it as tourists. But when they built Rocky Reach Dam in the early 1960s, they had the forethought to think, okay, this is a public thing and people should be able to come and look at the fish and learn something about the dam. So you can do that at Rocky Reach Dam that you can't do at Rock Island. It was good forethought.
Yeah,
50 some odd years ago.
Absolutely. And so what we've done though, now that you bring that up, we have implemented a new program for a special group of people. And we call it our Senior Tri-Dam Tours.
How long has this been going on, by the way?
So we are going into our second year.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is brand new.
So now it's an annual event because it worked good enough last year.
It worked so well, and so at the end of the event, we had these events last year, these Tri-Dam Tours, and at the end of the event, you know, we give a little card. It's a 5-question, you know, 1 to 5. Was it great? Was it terrible? What can improve? What needs to happen? And the response was just overwhelming. You have to keep doing this. And so what
I'm told it's better than Hamilton.
Oh, it's at least that good.
That's what I was told.
And it's less expensive. So, I mean, it's free. How are you going to beat that?
And this is a chance to see Rocky Reach Dam is available, of course, to the public at a regular basis. But Rock Island Dam and the Chelan Falls Dam is not something that normally the public gets to walk around. This is a chance for them to do that.
Absolutely. So what this is designed for, it's a unique event. So we offer hard hat tours, what we call hard hat tours, and they're by schedule. And we typically do, like we'll do Rock Island one year, Rocky Reach the next year, Lake Chelan Falls the next year, and we kind of rotate those around. The good thing about those tours is the public gets to go down underneath and kind of see the real deal. The bad news is that we have a subpopulation, if you will, that would love to do that, but physically they're unable to.
Senior citizens have some mobility
Senior
issues at
citizens
times.
for the most part.
Right.
My dad, 92. Wow. Brain is just as sharp as it ever was. Memory is great. Loves to experience. He comes out every year. I fly him out. We do these bucket list things. So mentally, he's just right there. But physically, he just has a hard time. So to do a real legitimate tour, a hard hat, kind of a down under tour of any one of our facilities, it's about a 1.5 mile walk. It's climbing lots of stairs. It's just a lot of movement. So there's a group of people that we realized, gosh, we're not meeting a need here. And they really want to experience, but Just physically, they can't walk a mile and a half and climb the stairs. So the Senior Tri-Dam Tour, it's not just for senior adults, it's for anybody with what we'll call mobility issues. They can't do that long walk and climb those stairs. So what we do is we meet at the Penny Road Park and Ride, and we meet between 8 and 8:30 in the morning, and we put them all on a bus, and we take off. And if you're going to ask me, well, what's the schedule? Well, we don't know. We know we're going to travel to all 3 dams. We don't know in which order. We don't know which side of the river we're going to go up to get any of the one, because that will all be dependent on what's going on each project on that day. So there are some days you can drive right across the top of Rocky Reach Dam, and that's our goal. And we think we're going to make that happen again like we did last year. But you never know. Something could come up. You wind up with a big crane on the deck, so you got to take an alternate route. But the bottom line is we put them in a bus, and what I did was I went down underneath all 3 of our projects. And I had one of my coworkers who's really good with photography, and she took pictures of all the cool stuff. So we've got those in a real nice color booklet, and so as we're driving across Rocky Reach, we'll stop the bus and I'll say, open your booklet to page 4. 2 floors underneath you right now. If you were there, this is what you'd be looking at. And this is how it works, and this is the story behind it. And it's a hoot. It's a lot of fun. And so the first one we're going to have this year is on Wednesday, March 14th.
Which is right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. Yeah. And seats are limited. We can only put 30 people. It's a 35-passenger bus. So with our staff, we can put about 30 people on there. And so anybody who's interested, the best way to make your reservations is to call the Rocky Reach Discovery Center at 663-7522. And they'll get your reservations. They'll let you know all of the details. We pick everybody up about 8:30 in the morning at that park and ride. In the middle of the day, we'll wind up at Rocky Reach. We'll eat lunch right there at Mama D's Cafe, which is actually a fabulous place to eat. It really is. And so it's designed for people who, we don't have a wheelchair lift on the bus. So it's designed for people who can get on a bus and get off of a bus, but not necessarily able to do all of the walking and the climbing of the stairs. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And there's some unique architectural flourishes on all 3 dams that you're going to see that normally you can't see, right?
Absolutely. And so that's what the photography down under shows, because you've got such distinct eras. Chelan Falls was generating power in 1926, 1927. So there's an era. And then you got Rock Island, which is the oldest and the youngest dam on the Columbia. You've got Powerhouse 1 back in 1930. So you've got that era of construction and industrial engineering. And then it was upgraded in the 50s to meet some needs for Alcoa. And then you have Powerhouse 2 in the 70s. Well, in the middle of all of that, you got Rocky Reach between 56 and 61. So yeah, you've got so many different eras of industrial engineering and construction. It just makes it a lot of fun.
Bob Bauer, how much does this cost?
Well, here's the good news. Last year, we were able to do this for absolutely nothing. It was free. This year, we've been compelled to double the price, so it's free.
It's free.
It's free again. It's just twice as good this year. So because we've done it, we almost know what we're doing now. So, but I really encourage anybody who is in kind of what I'll term that category. We'd love to have them. It's a lot of fun. We have one coming up April 7th.
Yeah, so the first one is March 14th. And so how many are you doing
March
this year?
14th. We're going to do 3.
Okay.
So we got one March 14th. That is a Wednesday. And then Saturday, April 7th, we are going to do one that is in Spanish.
Oh, great.
So we have a population who is going to grasp all of the terminology and everything in their native language. And so we wanted to do one in Spanish, so that'll be April 14th. And then we have another one we're going to do in late September, September 27th. And we timed that one to be able to stop up at Chelan Falls, and hopefully we'll be able to see lots of fish in the fish restoration area.
This is whose idea was this?
I don't know.
Somebody gets credit at the PUD. This is a great idea.
My supervisor, Debbie Gallagher, she's got a pretty cool policy. We don't want to know whose idea it was because we all want to share the excitement of it. So I honestly can't tell you. I know there was a couple of experiences. We had an event out at Rocky Reach, a senior adult Olympics, if you will. It was a lot of fun. And during that event, we've got this, we call it a 6-pack. It's a little electric vehicle, little seat, 6 people. And we were just giving senior adults rides across the deck just for fun. And just basically every one of them said, man, this is so cool. And I think it kind of spurred right from there.
We got about 10 seconds left, a little less than that. Back to the Visitor Center opens on Thursday of this week.
Thursday,
hours.
March 1st, hours 9 to 6. And we've got tons of renovation going on, 5 seconds to go. So each day is going to be different, but we'll make sure everybody has a great time if they come out.
Get a hold of the PUD, 663-7522 for reservations for the Senior Tri-Dam Tour. Bob, it's good to see you. Linda Haglund will be our guest tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.